All right, so I'm going to try something a little bit different this week because we didn't get to our 5 and 5 during the tax show. We had a lot going on. We had a lot of friends stopping by. We had a lot of fun going through those foreign movie adaptations in the tier list and looking at those foreign books with Robert Fordham. And the news took a lot longer than I thought it was going to. We ended up forgetting to do 5 and 5. So I decided I'm just going to do it. I already did the deck for it. So I'm going to do this up all by myself this week and try to cover our 5 comics in 5 minutes without any other commentary. So I should be able to do it pretty easily. And with that, I am going to start the clock and get this thing rolling. So we have 5 minutes to go over this week's 5 and 5 comics. As you know, I'm covering 5 comics in 5 minutes. These are some hot books and some sales that you want to be mindful of. Pay attention to. Keep an eye out for this stuff. Just know where the market's going. And our first one is this is our big ticket sale. Big ticket item right here is this Strange Tales 110. You know what this book is. It's First Doctor Strange, 8.5. Sold for a very healthy $26,500. $26,500. That's no small chunk of change right there for 8.5, mind you. Uh, big book. I do not have this book, but you can see why it still has some interest. We just had Doctor Strange 2 finishing up its run, I think, in the theaters, and we should be seeing more Doctor Strange at some point. I don't think Benedict Cumberbatch is done yet, so we will be getting more. So this book probably not going anywhere anytime soon. So with that, let's take a look at our next book that I want to keep an eye on. And that next book is based off of last week's news that they are switching John Constantine to Joanna Constantine in the Sandman show on Netflix. Probably because they don't want to confuse the Constantine that's going to be showing up on HBO Max with a Constantine showing up on the Netflix series, because I don't think they're connected directly, probably more connected indirectly. So it probably made more sense to do the gender swap for Joanna Constantine. I don't think it's just going to be a female version of John Constantine, nor do I think it's going to be exactly the ancestor that we get introduced to here in Sandman number 13 from Constantine's like long lost Lady Constantine, like it's, aunt his long lost, not long lost, but ancestor going back hundreds of years. So I don't think it's going to be that either. Maybe it's an amalgam. Maybe it's just a new character that's kind of playing off the ideas of both, and you get a little bit of both characters kind of put together and mixed in. Now, this book over the last week, again with that news, it's like $35 for the a lot of the sales. There's been over 25 sales at the time of when I came up with this information. Even the Essential Vertigo reprint copy is selling for $20. So any copy of this Sandman 13 is worth grabbing if you can find it for a decent price, I guess. And we'll see where it goes from here. Other news that kind of spiked the market is something I talked about just back in April in Dollar Bin Digging. I told you, keep an eye out for Spectacular Spider-Man number 98 for the spot. Granted, I was talking about the spot because he had just been killed by Carnage in the comics, but still, it was a $5 to $10 book then. Now, all of a sudden, with news that he's going to be the villain in Into the Spider or Across the Spider-Verse, the next Miles Morales animated movie, we have over 130 sales the last week, hitting $65, $80 for 98 and 99, $775 in 98. So this is getting expensive. I don't know how long this will last, but just be mindful of it. I told you to keep an eye out for it cheap before. Now it's probably too late, but let's keep an eye on it and see where the market goes. Another bit of news that came our way this week. A lot of news for movies and whatnot coming, driving some books, including Thunderbolts. So we're getting a Thunderbolts movie. We don't know the lineup of the team, but still the one you probably want to pay attention to is the original crew that first appeared in Incredible Hulk 449, because we don't know what lineup we're going to get. It's probably not going to match any lineup directly from the comics. It's probably going to be an amalgam mashup from who they have in the MCU right now. So the original grouping and idea behind it probably makes the most sense. Over 150 sales the last week based off of that news. Yes, over 150 sales. I stopped counting at some point. Hitting $150, $135 raw, $900 in 9.8. This thing has gotten super expensive very, very quickly. I mean, it's been expensive for a while, but it's getting even more expensive. And who knows where this might go as time goes on and we get more information. But just keep an eye on that. It's another book that is pretty darn hot this week. And another book that was new this week that I think you should be mindful of with all the third prints for issue 1 of Grimm, following in the course of that second print where it just allocated lower print, harder to find, I guess. Apart from those, don't forget the one per stores. This is the one per store for issue 2. It is just a color version of the other issue. There's a 1 in 25 for this as well that is looks very, very similar. And there's a trade dress version. I think it's just the one of the C covers or the FOC version. I can't remember which, but this version is the one that is the one per store. It's new this week. Copies selling for 30 to 40 bucks. That's kind of like the baseline. Who knows where it'll go from here, but Grimm seems to be a hit so far, so it's another book worth keeping an eye on. So with that, those were our 5 comics. I did it in 5 minutes. I did it all by myself. I didn't run long. I even have a few more minutes to spare. So hopefully you enjoy this series and check it out on the Tack Show each week. And with that, I will see you guys later.